I'd like to take a few moments and explain why I can give you a good reading at a reasonable price, be it through the contact cards, an astrology chart reading, or through a psychometry reading. Let's start with a little history, though. I grew up at a place called Milligan's Inn. It was in rural Maine. It was a small inn with about 18 rooms. It had a bar and a dance hall. And before cars, it was actually a stagecoach stop. It sat on a hillside with a picturesque view of one of the Belgrade lakes. And the place was haunted. Every month, on or around the full moon, I would be awakened from the sounds of a piano playing ragtime music. I could hear the clanking of glasses and the garbled conversation. Now, as a child, I was told to go back to bed, you're having that dream again. In my late teens, I actually saw an apparition of a lady dressed in a blue robe walk across the dance hall floor. It was rumored the inn was used to hide slaves that were escaping from the South and trying to make their way to Canada. A tiny secret room was found in the building about 2010. It was just big enough to cram 8 cots together. Now, my mother's generation and my generation never knew about or found the room. And you know how kids can get into everything. Growing up, I was a bit of a wild man. I was in and out of various businesses, married and divorced. I was a product of the 60s, not really caring, just interested in having a good time. On my 30th birthday, a lady friend gave me an astrological chart reading by an experienced astrologer. I went to the appointment a little reluctantly. I left the appointment a changed person. How could this lady see good times, bad times, have personal insights into relationships, and much more by simply having my birth time? I went on an immediate quest to find some answers. I started reading everything I could about astrology, hypnosis, psychic phenomena, past life experiences, and so on. A year or so later, I became the second certified hypnotherapist in the state of Maine. I lived and practiced in the Portland area. For almost 25 years, the bulk of my clients came to me for stop smoking, weight loss, pain control, phobias, memory recall, past life regressions, etc. Also in those years, I was introduced to psychometry. This is the art of being able to hold an object and pick up feelings and insights of the property owner. And I sort of felt like I'd done it before. It was sort of strange. Now, during that time frame, I was approached by a lady claiming she worked for the International Bureau of UFOs. She wanted me to do a regression on an entire family that had been abducted by aliens. I must admit, I was a complete skeptic. I did everything I could to remain neutral, though. Example, I conducted the regression separately. I would ask, where are you in the craft? Are there lights? Describe the aliens, describe the contents of the craft, and so on. The sessions were very emotional, and I almost called it quits several times. I never went public with the story as I promised, and I never made contact until 40 years later. I made a phone call. It was very emotional and a happy conversation. And, come to find out, one of the children grew up to be a scientist and now works for NASA. The point I'm trying to make is I've seen, I've heard, and I've done a lot in regards to the paranormal. No reader is 100% correct. That's not the way it works. Your personal will can change any outcome of any prediction. I am here to give you one more piece of the puzzle and hopefully help you make a wiser decision. My rates, I feel, are very reasonable, $39 for either a contact card reading, an astrology chart reading, or a psychometry reading. I'll do the readings via FaceTime. I have a virtual office. You do not need a webcam, or on your end, I should say, and you'll still be able to see me. I'm in my 70s. I only work a few days a week. Sometimes there is a few days wait, sometimes not. Feel free to email me with any questions or to book an appointment. Thanks for your time. Furby out.